Somebody's definitely telling a few porkies at Manchester United. In translation, somebody's lying. Somebody's not telling the truth. What is going on at Manchester United? So Jim Ratcliffe is the saviour all of a sudden. And without his investment and INEOS coming in, Manchester United would be going bust. There is no player revolt at Manchester United, reports have come out right now. So what are we supposed to believe as fans? All we can look at is what's right in front of us in black and white. And that's prices going up, that's staff being cut, and nothing changing on the pitch. Do we need to give it time? Or should we be just looking at what is being said and what is really happening at this football club? And that is that the Glazers have run out of ideas, have run out of money, and the emergency was INEOS. Well, we're going to get into all of that. We're going to see what has been said. They've got to go into a big report on Jimmy Jackson from The Guardian around Manchester United's finances and the tightrope that we are walking right now with PSR and why we are walking that tightrope. What's the Jim Ratcliffe has had to do? He's come back fighting as to why he is making these job cuts, not directly through him, but through people and representation. And this is what's come out from Jamie Jackson in The Guardian as well. All of your transfer news and speculation going into the summer as Garnacho and Osimhen talk start to heat up again. More targets for Manchester United. All of the other news from around the day, keeping you fully up to date with everything going on. This is Forever United TV. I'm Adam. Get involved in the live chat. Get your comments in. If you're wondering why you can't get involved in the live chat, it's subscriber only. So please hit that subscribe button to get involved in the chat there. Have a good debate. Discuss amongst yourselves. And I will be into that chat a little bit later on to discuss everything that you have brought up and your opinions on all of the subjects involved in tonight's show. And yeah, when you look at everything that has gone on from last night, because we reported last night about Manchester United, everything that was going on with Sir Jim Ratcliffe's cuts, the unrest within Manchester United's squad, and then we talked this morning about certain people, certain members of staff at Manchester United, my ticket debacle, myself, my own personal experience as a season ticket holder at Manchester United, blah, 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 all of the stuff that we know is really important to us fans and match-going fans in particular. They are the facts and they are the hard facts as to what is actually happening at this football club right now. But the big part and big brunt of the issue right now, and what was all going on about yesterday, was Sir Jim Ratcliffe making more cuts. We know what he's done with the former player fund, and that has gone. He has, I'm guessing reluctantly, kiboshed the disabled half the disabled fund which was coming out of the football club. Look, businesses have to do what businesses have got to do. Everybody understands that. Everybody understands that nothing was going to happen overnight with INEOS, but the way they've started has really upset a lot of Manchester United fans, and it just seems to have taken a little bit of the football club away because it is being treated as a business, because as a business it has completely ruined Manchester United, and well, we're hoping for anybody to come in and change what the Glazers have done. And straight away, we are very sceptical because the football is crap. INEOS don't seem to have made much of a difference. If anything, on the pitch, it's got worse since INEOS have come into the football club. So everybody's looking for the next big thing and what is going to happen at United. And the guard's up. The fan base's guards are up. Let's be honest. And we are waiting for the next jab to come in. So we're not listening to anything. We're not taking what people are going to say. There's a lot of walking that needs to happen before we accept any talking. And at the moment, the walking, well, we're looking pissed. And we're walking down the street all over the place. That's what Manchester United is. So I can totally understand the fan side and argument and anger around this football club at the moment. But INEOS, to balance the argument out again, have come back fighting. So we're going to discuss what's actually gone down here and what's been said by Jamie Jackson in The Guardian, first of all. And then we'll discuss it again. So we'll just go through it bit by bit. So initially he comes out and says, Sir Jim Ratcliffe understands his decisions at Manchester United are unpopular, but feels there is a lack of awareness outside the club regarding the full picture of Manchester United's situation. I can understand him saying that. I get what he's going on about there. This is where it gets interesting. Manchester United's insiders say the club would run out of cash without the £240 million Sir Jim Ratcliffe he injected in. The final $80 million was paid in December, and his shareholding was raised to 27.7%. Manchester United's cash reserves would have run dangerously low without that investment. Then goes on to say, Sir Jim Ratcliffe believes his decision to cut about 200 more jobs at Manchester United is necessary, get this, to help the club avoid going bust. Financial translation from slang is bankruptcy. Like, holy shit. Like, what? Seriously? You're saying that Manchester United were going to go bankrupt without Sir Jim Ratcliffe's investment? This is what insiders are saying. I'm not making this shit up. I'm just talking about what's actually happening here and what the Guardian are reporting. And, I mean, why would they report this? Why would this come? This is the financial side of things. You could talk about scaremongering, you could talk about all of this and like trying to cover themselves as to what they're doing and making excuses. A lot of people will go down that road, not having it. How can Manchester United go bankrupt? I mean, let's just dig in a little bit more. There's a little bit more to read, and then we'll get down into breaking it all down. He said to feel he has a little choice other than to take tough measures after United lost 300 million over the past 3 years, but he's confident that acting now can lead to the club being profitable and highly competitive in 2 years' time. 2 years' time now. What happened to Mission 21 that we were talking about the other day? And 2028? 2 years' time is 2027. I know we're supposed to lift the trophy, but he does there say, well, I don't think this is necessarily Sir Jim Ratcliffe saying this. This is people from Manchester United, obviously representation of INEOS, United, whoever. They're saying that we're going to be highly competitive, which isn't picking up the title. So he's giving himself that little bit of grace there to back up what I was just saying there regarding the Mission 21 and lifting the title on the 150th year anniversary of the football club. We are going to be competitive. What does competitive mean? Profitable? Wow. How the hell is Manchester United going to be profitable? Have you seen the interest payments to Jim? Have you seen the amount of money that we owe on transfers still? I understand he's made a mark and that we're not paying over the top wages anymore. We're not paying over the top transfer fees, but all that is still there. And the argument from the fan base, and where I understand the fan base's argument on this, is like, yeah, but you are basically just coming in as a little bit of a cash injection to keep the Glazers in power because they never wanted to sell Manchester United in the first place. And that's why they floated the idea of a sale. But really, we're looking for investors because alongside that full sale, when it all broke down back in 2023, it was said that Manchester United ownership and the Glazers were looking for extra investment or possible full sale. Really, they just enticed people in to see how much money they had and wanted to see if anybody would come in with a bid anywhere near the price that it would take to move them out of the club completely. Really, deep down, they just wanted to stay at Manchester United because they liked the power and they wanted to own the biggest sports enterprise in the world. And they had some cash injection because the Super League failed. And that was their get out of jail. So not long after everything had been done, obviously we had COVID, we had all of the problems there. Everything was on its arse basically in football, Manchester United included, Premier League, everything. When that was all cleared, football was being played, let the dust settle. How do we make more money? We can't. We're done. This club and our ownership cannot survive unless we plough our own money in, which we know the Glazers are never going to do. What can we do? Let's get a partner. Let's get someone else in who wants to run it for us and take all of the shit for doing so. Reality is that the Glazers have relinquished some power in running Manchester United in hope that a proper business or someone like Jim Ratcliffe who really wants to look at the sporting side of things to earn more money that way would take it over, which he has done, and now we're where we are. And he has come in and brutally made decisions because the Glazers just didn't have the bottle to do it. They just wanted bankers in thinking that this cash flow was going to run forever in a day. In comes PSR, in comes the restrictions. United can't operate the same ways that they wanted to and still survive and be successful, therefore earning the commercial revenue and everything that comes with it. Let's get something else in. Let's get the Glazers. Let's get INEOS in. And that was the best deal for the Glazers. It was as simple as that. Still leeching off the football club. Still having a say and the majority say in everything going on at the football club. Acting like they are doing bits when really it is all INEOS doing it right now. And INEOS are the ones that keep tripping themselves up in all of this. Running a football club like a business is great if you do it right behind the scenes and the football's all right. But the football is shit. We're running out of money. And now we're hearing that we could be bankrupt without this extra investment because of what the Glazers has done. Hence arguments, hence uproar, hence all of the animosity amongst Manchester United fans and everything going forward. This is where we are right now because of it. But That, in a nutshell, I feel is where we're at right now. The excuses and the lies are coming out. Right, Manchester United, we're always seen as this success. Like, we're not going to be in trouble. We've got the biggest revenues in the Premier League. Obviously, we've got the biggest debts and the biggest outgoings. And the owners are the only ones in the Premier League that haven't invested anything into the football club for the last 20 years. But we're still okay. It's Man United. Well, apparently not, according to this report. So who's lying? Is it the report from The Guardian? Is it Sir Jim Ratcliffe? Is it the Glazers? Like, who is actually lying in all of this? Someone is telling porkies. Someone's not filling us in. We need a little bit of transparency. The only reason the fans are upset is because we don't know what's going on, and it looks like it's being run, the club that is, by absolute clowns right now. It really does. Everything looks like a calamity. And that's why United are upset. But to say that Sir Jim Ratcliffe's investment in Manchester United is near $250 million that he's put in, that's aside from the money that he's paid the Glazers just to take power of United right now and invest that money. To say that that investment, without it, would send Manchester United into the red and bankrupt the club, then, wow, that's a statement, isn't it? That really is. I honestly cannot see it personally myself, but then again, United have been run by absolute idiots over the last few years, and we could be in that situation. We really could. But, hey, look, it's not for me to say. It's up for us to debate and discuss. I'm just going off what's actually been said there, and that report is quite brutal when you break it all down. And importantly in it, I feel, is a defence coming out from INEOS on what's happening right now. Without all of these cuts, United won't survive. I'm sorry. A couple of players' wages definitely helps. 200 people at another 100 people at Manchester United keep their jobs. They won't all be important jobs, I know that. Right? There'll be some parts of Manchester United that really don't need people working in certain sectors, but still, it just looks like it's a bit of a cop-out. And the bigger argument in all of this is that INEOS ballsed up the start of the summer, and now everybody's jumping on. They're the issue because they're the ones that kept certain people in or employed certain people and sacked certain people, which has cost the club more money, a hell of a lot more money than what it would in terms of what they would save in sacking the running of the mill staff around Manchester United. But look, this happens in all businesses. We know this. The problem is in treating Manchester United like a business right now, it sort of feels like it's taking the football aspect away, and it feels like the soul of Manchester United is being slowly sucked out of the football club with everything that's going on right now. And it's hard to differentiate the finances and the business side to the actual football side. And only would this ever go down or even be accepted if Manchester United were doing well on the pitch, and we're not, which is why, like I've said many times before, it's highlighted even more as to the mismanagement of everything going on at United from top to bottom. So Jim's slagged off the youth team. Amarim's come in, great coach, very successful in what he's done so far. He's not happy with the academy. We all thought that the academy was doing well. We'll see if the academy does well, because they're playing tonight at 7 o'clock actually against Chelsea in the FA Youth Cup. So that's going to be an interesting one. So let's see. But everything seems to be wrong since INEOS came in with Manchester United. And beforehand, apparently Manchester United were breaking all of these records, revenue record. Everything looked good. Was it a big cover-up? Honestly, looking at everything, looking at the decisions that were made at the start of the season, gardening leave for Dan Ashworth, hiring Dan Ashworth, sacking Dan Ashworth, dealing with Ten Hag's contract, then having to bring in another manager and pay Ruben Amorim a ridiculous wage as well, probably. All of that. If they'd have got that right at the start of the summer, maybe we wouldn't have had to go so desperate midway through a season. I'm just throwing it out there. Anyway, let's get into the comments section on this. Over 120 likes already. Thank you, everybody. Keep the likes coming in, everyone. Make sure you have subscribed to Forever United TV as well. Be part of the journey, everyone. Keeping you up to date on everything going on at Manchester United. Michael says, for the sake of argument, the 100 people that are to lose their jobs are on 500 a week each. That's 500k a week. Not even half the wage at United are getting conned out by some players. Morris says, if we had the press that wasn't up ownership's arse, we may have some answers. Look, the football club have kicked media out of certain press conferences and away from certain things before. So I think there is a little bit of a tit for tat between United and the fan base. With United and the media as well. There's always been that sort of fractious sort of relationship going on. Been plenty of people that have been wound up, particularly managers, over the last few years. We'll see if it gets to Ruben Amorim in time as well. But yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily think the media are up the ownership's arse, to say it bluntly. I don't, but I just think they're looking for the stories themselves, and they will dig anything out of Manchester United to make a story. Let's get some more comments in. Stu says, Adam, someone mentioned earlier a Spurs fan died. A Spurs fan did break down of the finances 6 months ago before INEOS came in, and he said he would go broke in 3 years. I don't know, I didn't hear that, to be honest. Football finance experts have all been talking about this today. I've heard it on radio, I've seen it on TV. Manchester United's cuts, everyone's been discussing it and why. And the finance people have all been like, well, this is just normal. They've been in for 12 months. They've seen how United is running, and they've seen the figures, and they've just said, look, this isn't going to work. This is not sustainable. So we have to act on it now. So it's not like they've just come in, these people are saying, and just gone bang, bang, bang. Get rid of everybody. No, it doesn't work like that. But they've been in, they've seen it run for a year, and they don't like it. So they've made the cuts. That's how they're defending the decision. And this happens in any industry. Again, going back to what I just said, though, when it's football and it feels like you're taking the heart and soul out of the football club because of financial reasons, which we know are not the fans' fault, you cannot expect the fans to just sit there and take it. That's the thing. We have done nothing wrong, but all we have done is blindly support this football team and this football club. When you look at it that way, you can understand the argument. You can understand everything that fans are upset about. And honestly, that, I think, is the biggest problem right now. We're losing what Manchester United are because of mistakes from before that are now being brutally rectified. Well, what they think they're rectifying, INEOS, that is. And all of a sudden, today, you get this big statement coming out that Manchester United have been salvaged by INEOS because without them, we would be bust. Or would be going close to being bust. INEOS biggest failing. What's getting to you the most? That's the chat. And that is the poll right now in the chat. Ticket price rises, staff redundancies, Ten Hag and transfer fails, supporting slash working with the Glazers. Yeah, I had a feeling that one would be top of the tree in terms of the poll. 54% of you going with working with the Glazers. Ten Hag and transfer fails is second. Staff redundancies third, and ticket prices last. And ticket prices for me, like that is ridiculous. It really is. I miss the days I was just concerned with only actual football. Now I have to worry about finances and club politics. It's got that way, hasn't it, football now? It really has, with fans discussing more about what's going on at the football club rather than what's actually happening on at the pitch. It feels like the conversation is going on about everything right now. We're all turning into football finances, or we're trying to listen to football finance experts to try and figure out if we can actually move forward. Like, we're trying to make deals ourselves in transfer windows and everything else. It is a mad one, it really is. So they quote a 45 million saving per year for the redundancies. The maths don't work. That equates to an average across the 250 is 180k each. Funny numbers. I don't know how they're working it out, and we're never going to get to the bottom of working out. I think they're just biding the time. I think they're just trying to buy time, more than anything here. They're trying to get through to the window, and what they think will happen in the transfer window will start making the team perform better on the pitch, which will keep everybody a lot quieter, which is inevitable. We all know that, and we know that that's going to be the case. Let's get them likes up, everybody. Get involved in the chat. Make sure you've subscribed as well. We're going to get into all other news as well tonight and go through on everything transfer-wise and what has been reported again. There are lots of rumours. There is quite a lot going on with Manchester United on the rumour mill as well. So we're going to get into all of that and get that out to you and get your opinions on it. So going into that and just talking about it, Graham Bailey, just to move away from INEOS, because I'm sick of talking about them and Manchester United and the finance side of thing right now. But if they do get what they want in terms of the money for Ruben Amorim going into this window, I still feel like it won't be enough. And United will have to sell players. Now, Graham Bailey has been talking again regarding Victor Osimhen, and this one came out earlier on today. Earlier on this afternoon, should say. Manchester United are interested in Victor Osimhen, we know. And there is a possibility of a player exchange, as Napoli appreciates several Manchester United players, including Alejandro Garnacho and Rasmus Højlund. Now, I'm sure nobody would have a problem with Rasmus Højlund. Well, I don't know. Some people did the other day when we discussed this. Some people did have an issue with Rasmus Højlund leaving. I think he's been made a bit of a scapegoat because of the mismanagement of Manchester United, recruitment and all of the problems. But would you swap Victor Osimhen in a deal with Rasmus Højlund? I think that won't be hard to turn down, won't it? Again, still, I would prefer Victor Gyökeres. I think he is the better player. But Manchester United, like we know, are open to selling anyone in this team this summer. And Rasmus Højlund has again been used in some form of mate weight. So, yeah, I mean, when you look at it that way, I mean, I can understand it. I can. I actually feel right now, looking at what INEOS are doing, just to go back on it a little bit, and then what's coming in the summer, I think there's a mass exodus coming in the summer. I really do. I don't see INEOS being able to do what they're doing without making big cuts elsewhere. I don't see them just sitting by these players that are in at Manchester United right now. If they have done what they've said, they've gone through the data, they've gone through the numbers, then they know that the biggest problem at Manchester United was recruitment. And alongside that, obviously, inevitably leaves you with poor players on the pitch, which, looking at the league table, looking at how Manchester United have performed over the last few years, is true. We have got a shit team. So we are going to have to make the necessary cuts within the playing staff as well. So looking at what we are faced with this transfer window, low budget because of everything that's going on. We're going to be selling bigger players. I think we will sell the likes of Alejandro Garnacho if needed. I don't think the club are even bothered right now. Because if INEOS have got any input on this at all, they will be saying, look, these are players in this squad that have contributed to Manchester United being where they are. They're clearly not good enough. If the right offers come in and we can get players that you feel, Ruben, can have more of an impact instantly, then that's how we're going to go. And he will get back with the players that he wants. So we will see, won't we? But Rasmus Højlund, I mean, I'll come to the chat on this one now and see what you think. Rasmus Højlund with money for Victor Osimhen. Is that somewhere you would go? Well over 1,000 in the room as well. Welcome along, everybody. Get your comments in on this one right now. Too much controversy off the pitch. In the news for all the wrong reasons. Yes. What's Gyökeres' record in English football? He's played in the Championship, Brett. That is it, mate, for Coventry. But what is Osimhen's record in England? Who is the better striker? That's a debate that's gone on forever. Red Terry 28 says, it's laughable, these media stories. On one hand, we're nearly going bust. And then on the second hand, we're being linked with signing players. Yeah, I feel like what is not there in the reports is how it stopped Manchester United going bust. We're not going to go bust. I can't see United ever going bust. Like, obviously, we keep on going with the recruitment that we're doing, and we're never going to be able to buy anyone. But we are going to be able to make money. That's one thing United will always be able to do. And we will always be able to somehow balance our books. But I feel like what they're saying is United might not have managed this PSR year without INEOS's investment. I think that's more like it. Because where United will be tight in transfers in the summer, we're looking at what? We didn't spend anything hardly in January. We have saved a lot of money on wages in terms of players and the ones we've let go. The cuts apparently are saving United approximately, 45 million a year. So the normal staff leaving is saving Manchester United approximately 45 million a year. So you've got that. You've got Jadon Sancho money coming through as well. You're going to sell Marcus Rashford. He's going to go for 40 million or something like that. Then I do believe that United will end up selling a couple of other players. Obviously, Casemiro's going to go. That won't be a big fee. I do think still that Garnacho will be hot topic in the summer, and I can still see him going. I won't put it past Manchester United selling Kobbie Mainoo either. I think they're up for selling absolutely anyone right now. And if this team doesn't get Champions League this season, I think it will be a case of INEOS just sitting everybody down and saying, look, you are officially the worst Manchester United side in the history of the game. You're going to be sold. That's what it's going to take. Obviously, it's not going to go down like that, and it's never going to come out like that, but that basically is what they're going to be looking at this summer, and that's how their approach is going to be. It's going to be saying it as it is, which is, look, this is it. You failed. So to make money and to cover what we needed with Champions League, we're going to have to start selling players. I think that's how brutal it's got to be in the summer. Because there's no way that Manchester United can afford this just off the back of getting rid of a few staff members. It's not going to happen. It's not. We all know that. We're not that stupid. People were talking on the radio earlier on, they're going to get the redundancies, so they're going to get a big payout. So if anything, if they're going this year, they're going to get a big payout, then realistically, it's going to cost United more money because of redundancy. Like, we're talking about the summer coming up, transfer window coming up. So really, is it going to have any impact and give us money in the long run? Yeah, maybe. But we're getting rid of these extra staff members now, actually 4 months before the next transfer window opens. So what are we going to save in 4 months? We're getting rid of normal members of staff. It definitely isn't up there in the million territory. Not big anyway. So yeah, I just feel like I think it's all a little bit of a cover-up to buy time. That's what I feel anyway. I think they'll be selling players. I think this is the only way, and I've said this all the way along. Anything that INEOS do that's going to cost the fans, the only way they can counter it at all is by getting rid of the players as well. The only way they can cover up getting rid of normal members of staff is by getting rid of playing members of staff. And that's the first team. It's as simple as that. And if they don't, then they are going to be public enemy number one forever and a day. And that is the way it's going to be. But I think something significant will happen this summer. And Manchester United will come into the transfer window and spend money. Kind of weird to say that when apparently INEOS have saved Manchester United from going bankrupt. It is a weird conversation that we're having right now. It really is. Right, let's get into some more of your comments. Over 200 likes as well. Thank you, everyone. Love that. A couple of super chats. In fact, it is a renewed membership from Leo. Thank you, mate. Rashford and Garnacho sold in the summer to fund new number 9, possibly. Odegrass with a super chat says, the Glazers would knock Old Trafford down and build a car park if they thought it would make them more money. Goddamn snakes. I hate them so much. I think everybody does, mate. Gifted membership from London. Thank you, mate. 7-inch Destroyer. Are you convinced by the 3-4-3 system in the Premier League? It's not just a 3-4-3. It's not. It literally changes all of the time. It goes 5-3 to a 4-4-2 constantly. When you sit there in the stands and you watch how it works and operates, it's just players and responsibility on these players, and they're being scared of making a mistake. Footballing IQ. I haven't got a problem with the system. I know how it works. I can understand how it works. And if players don't understand how it works, then they don't belong at a football club. They don't belong at a professional club at the top level in the Premier League anyway. And the ticket seller was Jim Ratcliffe, and the pie man was Jim Ratcliffe. We all live in a Radcliffe world. All of them rat emojis, Robert, were throwing me out there for a minute. The only way to get rid of the players is by selling them. A lot of these guys have massive contracts. If they get rid of our massive wages, we still have to be paid. They still have to be paid out, unfortunately. Well, this is where the transfer fees come in, and why so many players are running the contracts down. When you think about it, from last season. Big wage earners, Brandon Williams, Anthony Martial, Raphael Varane, all leaving for absolutely nothing, along with a few other younger academy players as well. This summer you're going to have Lindelof, Evans, you're going to have Ericsson, all leaving for absolutely nothing transfer fee wise because their contracts are too big, but the wages will be gone. United will make a substantial saving this summer with players just leaving on free transfers. They will. So I think that's what we have to look at in all of this, and I think that's how INEOS are looking at the future and maybe the financing of Manchester United and buying younger players in that are on nowhere near as much. Like for instance, you've got Victor Lindelof, does nothing, absolutely nothing for this football club. I'll be honest, I'd argue he never has done, really. He scored a great penalty against Brighton in the semi-final, and he has done little bits here and there and made a few appearances, but he's done nothing for Manchester United, especially the last contract that he's had at the football club. And I think there won't be any player coming in. I'm going to say this right now. I don't think there'll be any player coming this summer that's on as much as what Victor Lindelof is on now. I don't think there will. He's on 120 grand a week, Victor Lindelof. I just don't see the players coming in unless we go out and buy them big players, which I'm not convinced we will. I want us to, and I think there is a chance to, but I feel like they would feel like they are breaking their structure in terms of wages to get these players in, which is why we're going for the younger players. So 120 grand a week for Victor Lindelof. You're talking, what, about 50 grand a week for Evans? You're talking 150 grand a week for Christian Eriksen. Well over 300 odd thousand there a week in wages just off them three who are doing nothing for Manchester United right now. The issue you've got at this football club again is them big earners, 400 grand's worth of Luke Shaw and Mason Mount sat on the sidelines doing nothing again. That's the big problem that we've got. If you wanted to watch some quality football from Manchester United, straight after this show, I'm going to be sitting down and watching Manchester United's academy lads because Bayern Kerry is back in action. I'm just going to read the actual team that is out on the pitch tonight, and this is an exciting team. Murdoch in goal, Kamassen, Monroe, Armour and Amas at the back. So Harry Amas is playing tonight. Devaney is playing. Scanlon, got to watch him. Great player. Tyler Fletcher is playing as well. Darren Fletcher's son. Obi Martin is playing tonight. Jack Fletcher, Darren Fletcher's other son. So both Fletcher sons are in the under-18s team for the FA Youth Cup tonight. And Gabe Bayern Kerry as well is in it. That is a very, very strong Manchester United under-18s team. I'm looking forward to watching that one. Going to be flicking in between the under-18s and the Liverpool-Everton game. Really interesting night ahead for everybody there. And Kakonki on the bench as well. Fitzgerald, Ibrahimov, Freites, Musa, and coming back from injury as well, another academy player plagued by injuries that has got an absolute... he's destined for greatness if he stays fit. Shea Lacey is back again, Manchester United fans. So he is back in the lineup as well tonight. That is as exciting as an under-18s team gets. Cannot wait to start watching that one later on. 7 o'clock kickoff on MUTV, everybody, as well. I am looking forward to watching them. That is like the best thing going for United right now, the under-18s. Can you imagine if Rasmus goes to Napoli every time he makes a run? Scotty will already be there like last season. Standing on each other's toes again, mate. I know what you mean by that one. That did happen quite a lot in the season as well. Scotty too hotty, making his runs too quicker and getting in the way. But hey, look, credit to Scott McTominay for what he has produced so far and how he's adapted to life over in Italy. Really pleased for him, and he's in a better place. A miles better place than what he would be if he was still in Manchester. Even though he is a boyhood Manchester United fan, he's been here his whole life. I think he's playing the best football he's ever played elsewhere, which is a sad, sad indictment of what Manchester United are. And a lot of people have said this in their chats before with me and said, like, look, we just kill careers, don't we? We absolutely kill careers. And this is where the poisonous comes from. Like, what is going on at the club? We did say last night on the show that there is a player revolt. There is something going on at Manchester United. the players don't like Ruben Amorim's tactics. It came out from Chris Wheeler of the Daily Mail. Apparently that now is not true. Again, contrasting reports. Who's lying? More lies, basically, from every different angle at this football club. What is going on, honestly? Like, what do you actually believe? I honestly think that the players are struggling. But in this other report, it's actually saying that the players, quietly behind the scenes, there is a real togetherness amongst the squad. Well, I hope that is the case. It's fucking Manchester United, for God's sake. That should be a given. Oh, God, togetherness. Yeah, nobody's convinced about that. We need to be together on the pitch, and then we might be getting convinced. We must stand together, all supporters working as a team to protest against the Glazers. All of us, we have done. I've been there, and it is great. It really is. United fans getting together, but we're still going to sit back and watch the game afterwards. I'm just going to say it as it is. And protests do nothing. They don't do anything to scare the Glazers off anyway. Especially not when they've had season ticket holders over in Florida burning their tickets in a bin outside the stadium. Like, they don't care. What's your signature dish in the kitchen, Adam, mate? Oddy Grass, that is such a random question. But I did make a mean shepherd's pie the other day, so I'm going to take credit for that and say that. The quality on the bench could be huge in this one. That's from Academy Scoop regarding that game tonight. Encouraging to see Brian Carey thrown right back into the starting 11 after returning from injury. Brian Carey also did have that arm injury as well that he's returning from. So, yeah, that is there also. But, yeah, keep your comments coming in, everybody, please. And we will get through as many as we possibly can now. The Glazers continue. Order the players lose games and suck all your betting money. Match fixing is real. Okay. Dexter saying there is more corruption going on than what we first talked about. Elon Musk is not who you think he is. He was born here in South Africa. And if you look into his history, you would not want him anywhere near your club. No, he's not going anywhere near any football club. Crazy man. Money from ticket hikes per season, extra 20 million. Money saved from big name players sold or out on loan, 50 million saved. Staff cutting 45 million. Bet we won't see any of that money invested back into the club. Well, if that was the case, and it is a far cry from that, if it was the case, then I actually do think INEOS would plough it back into Manchester United, because the only way this club makes any money at all and is profitable, like we said at the top of the show, apparently coming from Sir Jim himself, profitable in 2 years, you have to be in the Champions League. It's that or nothing. That's it. And you know what? I've said it all along. If United are not competing, United don't work. If things are not going well on the pitch, United are in chaos. Simples. A gifted membership that's gone to Nightmate Media. Thank you to that from Krista. Love that. Keeping the memberships flying high. Actually, show your support and like the video. As just been said there from We Can Compete. Adam, shame about Dan Gore with another injury. Yeah, we talked about that this morning. It is gutting for him away on loan at Rotherham. Another academy player that we might have actually seen prosper from a loan move goes down injured. Really disappointing and devastating for the lad. He has been plagued by injuries his whole career. And just talking about Shea Lacey tonight being on the bench again for the under-18s. Another player that has been hit by injuries throughout his career in the academy. Hopefully he now can stay fit and be a player that comes through. There is so much talent in that team tonight for Manchester United. I tell everybody to go and watch that game on FUTV, on MUTV tonight if you can. It's going to be a great game with some, like I said, some great players and possible real Manchester United talent in there. If we give him off on the bench, obviously, Obi Martin, everyone wants to see up front as well. The Fletcher brothers, Brian Carey being back. The fact that Brian Carey and Obi Martin are both up front together should excite anybody who follows Manchester United's academy. That is going to be good, definitely. Best thing about Manchester United is our fan channels. Oh, Stephen, great comment right there. And this one in particular, don't you mean, mate? Golden. Yep, still waiting for the plane with my prawn cocktail crisp. What? I don't know what you're talking about there. If more people understand this, it will put pressure on INEOS and the Glazers to sell up come May 2025 when the 18-month exclusivity with INEOS ends. If not, every season will be like this. The Glazers are going nowhere, which means INEOS are going nowhere. Yes, the Glazers can sell over the heads of INEOS, but INEOS will always have that option to outbid whoever bids in anyway. But the Glazers don't want to sell, so effectively they're not going to go over INEOS's head. And let's be honest, if INEOS did all of a sudden find themselves stuck behind the Glazers and the Glazers wanted to sell, it's not really a problem, is it? Because that means that the Glazers will be gone indefinitely. So, yeah, I think I was debating that right at the start when INEOS took over, and everyone was worried that the Glazers could still sell over INEOS. Well, yeah, they can. But wouldn't that be a good thing? Because they're out completely. There was no argument in it for me. Let's just see what we've got. Adam, I've lost that comment now, sorry. There it is again. Adam, are they showing the under-18s match tonight? Yes, they are. Apparently, it is on MUTV tonight. So, it's about bleeding time. It is about time. Champions League night tonight as well. And obviously the Merseyside derby as well, everybody. So, plenty of football to get you... to get watching. I couldn't think of the right word to say then. But yeah, just watch. Enjoy the night of football. We're going bankrupt. The interest repayments are not affordable to the Glazers, and the rats ain't bailing them out. I reckon the years of failure is finally catching up with the Glazers. Of course it is. Of course it is, Michael. The Glazers have run out of money. They cannot make any more money by not investing into Manchester United themselves, and they are never, ever, ever going to do that. It's as simple as that. Adam, we can't be broke, as we all know that there is land to sell. If it's that big, if that's a bigger farce, not fans, not you saying it, but it's a Jim and INEOS. I'm not sure what you're on about there, Peter, but I'm thinking you might be alluding to what we spoke about a while ago, that the land around Old Trafford is owned by Manchester United. So any sort of naming rights to stadium, any sort of redevelopment from the council or the government that they want to do around the new stadium would have to be paid for. And obviously, whoever owns that land is set for a gigantic windfall, which is Manchester United, which is a long-term financial plan. So if United do start being competitive, if United do start competing in the Champions League, winning things again through all of these cuts, then it is a start to a more prosperous, profitable future indefinitely. Yes, if United do in fact end up getting the go-ahead and build a new stadium, gate receipts will be higher, there will be more revenues coming into Manchester United, they will have had land bought around from the government and the councils, which they will then use to fund the stadium, I'm guessing. Investors will come in. It's easier for investors to invest in a new stadium if they know the whole surrounding area is going to be completely redeveloped. It's more of an attracting appeal because it's a massive project, not just a football club. It will be the biggest stadium in England, and being competitive, I don't know what stadium was going to be bigger. It's probably only the Nou Camp and the Bernabeu that might compete with United's new stadium. That's what they're looking at, and that's where the money is. The money is there in the future, and the Glazers know it. But more importantly, INEOS know it, and that is their push. The longer this drags out, the better it is for INEOS. Not for Sir Jim, because he's getting on. But INEOS want the Glazers out. They want full power. They've not come into this saying that they are just going to work for the Glazers. They're not coming into this to say that they're just going to be partners. They want Manchester United for their own. And that is the long-term plan. That is everything for the Glazers. So, yes, realistically, I do see INEOS sticking around for a very, very long time. Also, realistically, I see them making plenty more balls ups, and this is not going to be a pretty summer, I don't think. Not for the players, not for the fans, not for the club. It's going to be a bit chaotic, and we just hope we come out of it and the other end with some form of competitive team so United can start moving forward again. But hey, that is that. And that is our show, everybody. I just want to say again, absolute legends, every single one of you. I love you all. Thank you so much for all of your comments, all of your super chats, likes. We've gone over 300. Again, absolutely mega. Love it, everybody. Thank you so much. I'll be back on Football Talks later on tonight with my reaction to the Merseyside derby and a bit more. And I'm just going to go on and enjoy watching some under-18s football now, because that is the one bit of football enjoyment we do get from this football club right now. And thankfully, they've been kind enough to put it on MUTV and not been skinflints again. And tight arses. So yeah, that is us for now. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you all in the morning at 8 o'clock here on Forever United TV. Until then, thank you. Goodbye. Enjoy your evening. Go watch the football. Sit back, relax. Try not to stress too much. We'll deal with all of the news again in the morning as we start another day. God, we just need some football back so we don't have to talk about INEOS, eh? Cheers, everyone. Have a great